Larry, first, could you give us just a brief overview of your name, title, and a little bit about Dr. Praegers?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Larry Prager. I'm the CEO of Dr. Praegers. And some of the history of Dr. Praegers, the company was started by my father, Dr. Prager, and his best friend and business partner in heart surgery, Eric Somberg. And they were both cardiac surgeons. And the company was launched in 1994, so about 25 years ago, 26 almost. And the real premise behind the company was to come out with a brand. They were seeing a lot of their patients who were having heart surgery, and they were, after surgery, they were kind of saying, what can we eat, and to remain healthy and, not end up back getting heart surgery again. And, the consistent thing that they heard was that there wasn't really a lot of, especially if we go back 25 years ago, there wasn't a lot of food that was on the market that was quick and convenient, but also healthy and had clean ingredients and low sodium and low or no saturated fat. But also, one of the key components is, trying to have something that actually tastes good. So you'd want to eat it again and then maintain that healthy diet. So yeah, we've been around for, like I said, 26 years. And we've really focused on, making that all natural kind of better for you food, frozen and very veggie focused.
Thank you. And then let's dive into COVID-19, right? So the environment today that we're seeing in the landscape is unprecedented. So feel free to talk about whichever aspect that you want, but really that what we're trying to tease out is how your strategies have changed in the past few months.
So obviously it's been a challenging time for everyone, just kind of keeping up with demand or kind of moving into whatever the new norm is, I guess. The biggest challenge for us today is really just continuing to increase our social distancing practices throughout our manufacturing facility. The most important real thing for us is to make sure we're prioritizing the health of our employees, and then also trying to keep up with the demand that we're seeing from the products. And, back in March, we saw a huge surge, especially in the retail front for demand. We've seen that come off a bunch in April. While on the other side of it, we do some business in the food service area, selling to restaurants, hotels and stuff like that we've seen take a real sharp dive. We're as a company, our biggest challenge is really increasing, meeting the increased demand and prioritizing the health and safety of our employees. And we've, really tried to do the best we can to ensure the team safety. We've gone into some of those things like checking temperatures on a regular basis, requiring masks and PPE, doing more cleaning, especially in the high touch points. We've separated out our lunchrooms. We've given more space in the lunchrooms and created new lunchrooms. So the employees, when they're eating, they can have more space. So we tried to do a lot to try to, keep the employees as healthy as possible.
Thank you, Larry. Next, could you speak to how you use data to support your planning and sales, marketing, and how that might have shifted recently?
Yeah, so our sales and marketing team is, during this time and prior to this time is always utilizing data to try to, help us with forecasting, prioritize initiatives. So we'll look at data, whether it's, trying to look at it, especially, right now where data is really important to have it coming in on a regular basis. We're working closely with retailers to make sure whatever data they're having, that they can see that they're sharing it with us. We found that a lot of the retailers have been really transparent to make sure that we know what's missing or how the category is up based on COVID-19, and then giving us that information to let us know, even down to we're seeing these items really flying off the shelf. We need to make sure we get them in. So the data has really been helpful. Probably the data they're seeing, the data we're seeing, to just help prioritize kind of the retailers' initiatives and making sure we're getting the right items to them, which then ultimately, rolls back into production and making sure we're actually producing the items that are most in demand.
Thank you so much. And one last question, and we're really hoping to kind of use this to help educate and build a sense of community around some kind of smaller emerging brands. So with that,
Yep.
What advice would you have for them?
Well, I think the most important thing, and probably one of the things I spend, maybe on a normal non-COVID-19, world, is really around innovation. I think that's really the key to emerging brands, is to make sure you're always innovating. Consumer trends are changing, and you must be able to adapt. I mean, that's what Dr. Prager's kind of always done. We probably have roughly 50 items or so in our portfolio, and we originally started out with a veggie burger, because we wanted to create something that was healthy and delicious, frozen food that everyone could eat, and again, that had recognizable ingredients and very veggie forward and superior nutritionals. But then as we've grown, we recently introduced a line of pure plant protein, which is more meant to taste like meat, while still staying true to the brand's DNA and continuing to be veggie forward focused. But I think that's the real thing for emerging brands, to make sure that you continue to innovate and don't get caught up in just being that initial segment. Be able to think beyond that and take some chances, which is it's probably another area about things to avoid. Is failure is certainly okay. We've seen product lines fail, and then we've had a lot of success with other lines, but making sure you understand why things failed. And again, that's can tie back into SPINS data, which can show you, where you might think something was going to be like the next great thing, you might get to see that, the trend is not really there, or the flavor profile is not resonating as much as you might have thought. Those learned experiences from failure will really make emerging brands better in the long run.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to share this with us.
All right. Thanks a lot. Take care.
Okay. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.